Hello, mate.
How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Is Donovan? The fuck is this?
Yeah. So I had Is it McNulty? Yeah, it's McNulty. Come and have a look at this the other day. So this laptop apparently.
I love McNulty, but he's not gonna be the guy that's he's my like bloodhound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did try and call you, to be honest, but I think it it happened on a day when
brother, you got this fucking Alienware PC.
Yeah,
sitting like over here.
Yeah, I thought it might be. I know. I was expecting, to get reached out to, and they're like, oh,
wait a minute,
some kind of deal,
How long have you been wearing that mask for?
God,
the black mask with a skull on it.
Longer than the fucking Faceless have existed, Brian. If that's what you're trying to ask, okay?
Faceless well, no, but I'm pretty sure Faceless have been a thing for like 10 years.
I mean, this has been on my face.
All right, well, before Sanguine.
Yeah. I'm not in the Faceless, okay?
I never said you are. It's just.
No, people.
It kind of feels like you're sympathizing a little bit,
Like people sympathizing with who?
You're like wearing their shit, you know what I mean? Like their swag. It's like, if you were, I don't know, like it's like, during the Cold War having like a sickle and and a scythe, like just necklace or something like that. Has anyone questioned you about that? Like, by any chance?
About my mask?
Well, yeah, just kind of the relationship. It's just curious.
What do you want to know?
Well, why do you wear it? You do own a lot of properties.
I do. A lot of them are the government's. We've got 4 of my own.
All right. I got an interrogation in probably about 30 minutes. Is Dawn able to make it?
No, she's speaking to Opal instead. I did tell her, I said it's important, it'd be good to get us all together, but she said no. In regards to my mask, you know maybe bits about me. I mean, you probably don't know much about me before I came to the city. Understandably, not a lot of people do. I one time, got arrested for drug trafficking. Was caught with a shit ton of methamphetamine. Obviously, previous to coming to the state of San Andreas, I might have dabbled in a bit of that myself. A bit of an expert, shall we say, a bit of a cook. Probably extremely overconfident. Far too cocky in a laboratory, shall we say. Thinking I know everything. I made a mistake. Explosion. Severe damage to my face. Not only causing that immense pain, but also, my pride, my ego took a massive hit. And I couldn't stand to look at myself due to, the failure and the embarrassment that I'd created by, just failing at perfecting something that I was once so good. Unfortunately, during the healing process of my face, I put this mask on. And I would say, it's probably going to kill me to try and pull this off now. My skin healed, but fused with the mask. I mean, that's the story. I mean, I can go into more detail, but I know we're short of time.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some rather probing questions because, and I'm just going to be rather forward.
We're in my office. Yes, in my office.
Is that Dawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to kind of put it bluntly, and this might hurt a little, but I'm not one to, do the feelings game. I feel like a lot of PD high command, specifically in the LSPD, is like a bunch of line workers for McDonald's who have been given more authority without any training as to how to pass information, basic communication skills that you learn, even going through, any sort of like post high school, experience. For example, even outside of like a chain of command in a police department, what do you normally do? You have information, you seek information, you go to the authority that has it. I mean, these are just kind of basic principles that you learn, as an adult. Now I wouldn't be so blunt about it if it wasn't for the fact that a lot of the issues that we consistently see is due to that thing. Now, notwithstanding, I don't think it's particularly strictly because of that, but I think there is a lot of apathy, right? How you doing, Dawn?
Just a little busy, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I was I'll wrap up this one so Dawn doesn't gotta hear it all, but where this kind of leads me to is one critical thing, right? When we spoke yesterday on the phone, it sounded like you've been primarily left out of the loop on a lot of these things. My concern sort of draws from the fact that the department inherently has individuals that have been involved, I think, longer than I have. And if that information is not bubbling up to the highest authority, which is the mayor in the county, that is a problem, right?
No, I agree.
So I'd like to find a solution for that. I think the interim would be that, some of these things come directly for me, but that's just simply not scalable. I'm extremely busy. And I do think the responsibility sort of lies on the respective departments, not just to garner information from their own subordinates, but also to populate it up to who they were, who they, like to their respective mayors, right? So,
yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think from my standpoint, I'm not going to speak on behalf of Dawn. I don't think we really even need to know the full details. I think it's just nice to have a bit of an understanding of what's going on,
Yeah. Yesterday evening, and some of this was drew from your conversation, but also some statements I came across throughout a couple scenes. We did a debrief, and one thing that I did specifically is ask some direct questions as to who of I think the 15 individuals in the room, had them raise their hands as to whether they knew, for example, who the Faceless is, what had taken place today, and I'd say about like 80% of them raised their hands. But so there shouldn't really be too much of a reason why these things aren't bubbling up, but we can solve that for future. I want to kind of start with just kind of hitting some of the key points of what took place yesterday and how it's going to affect y'all.
Hey.
But I am also going to dive backwards and just kind of presume y'all know nothing on this.
Yes.
And not because I'm saying you guys aren't reading the paper or whatever it might be, but just so that nothing is missed, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to make any assumptions as to how much y'all have been looped in so far.
Kept with the papers very well.
Hell yeah. I do have a timer of about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, just a bit of a heads up. We have someone from yesterday's situation up in the marshal's office, passed out, waiting to be interviewed. Yep. Okay, so Faceless, right? Faceless have been around since prior to Sanguine. However, they're not necessarily an entity that has there was like little known about them, right? I wouldn't even say that it was on anyone's radar. I just know that they existed, right? And that's only through recent findings, and also just kind of like one of those like, oh yeah, maybe I have heard of that. They hadn't done any kind of terrorism or tied to any crime. There was just the existence of. And there is a reality, too, that the references to Faceless from back in the day may have been a different entity, but there's references of things that we found today that are. Anyways, let's skip forward a little bit. The initial contact with law enforcement with the Faceless transpired when Mr. Larry Knox was chased down by a Apache helicopter off of what is it? Capitol Boulevard. Do you know where his bodega was? Across from the fire station and separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's getting chased down by an Apache helicopter, and no one wanted to go to the 911. It was actually interesting. Apache. Now keep in mind, we've seen a lot of those today that I don't think anyone had really seen one up until that day. A handful of law enforcement show up. It was myself, I think one other. I can't recall the who. This is about a year and a half ago, maybe close to 2. Fast forward, Larry is screaming something about FaZe Clan. He is now left on his own accord, screaming that he had just seen an Apache, while his friends, his ex-Gulag gang friends, I don't remember them off the top of my head, like the scrawny one. The fuck's his name? Marty?
Yeah.
They start getting chased. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, they got class 2s, but they're shooting a fucking Apache. Leave them the fuck alone. Right? Like, I mean, we'll get that shit later. If there's an Apache helicopter, people are going to protect themselves the way they're going to protect themselves. That was the first instance recording of the Faceless and their interaction. What they wanted out of Larry was unknown. It was later found out that Larry, alongside a handful of others, which I don't really want to name at this time because it's kind of irrelevant, just kind of highlights them unnecessarily, had been tasked by this entity to do things. What those things are, it's hard to say. But I will name one specific thing. Brandon Valentino, Edgar de Castillo, and I'm only naming the ones that are like the prominent ones today that, instead of lambasting folks that may have moved on.
Yeah.
Moved some sort of payload from the Humane Labs to somewhere. This was 2 days prior to this black goo incident. You guys know what the black goo is? This might have been before your time, Don. You Denzel?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much details about it.
Okay.
I've heard it mentioned.
I know, like, the Mirror
This was-
Park stuff. Like, that happened way, way, way back when, but, like,
So,
maybe? I don't know.
yeah.
This is probably about 12 months ago now, I think.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I am telling you things that we discovered from reports because the prior 2 iterations of the Marshals, I'll put it this way. No one looked at the Faceless, right? It was a tea sipping session. It was showing up at things. So prior to like Ruth going and hyper deep diving the few reports that existed and extrapolating this information, this wasn't known. So even what I'm telling you now is digging into archives and figuring things out and interrogations with suspects and including Brandon Valentino kind of directly just snitching on the crew, which is a whole nother matter. They moved some kind of payload, right? Once again, this is like November of 2024, roughly, maybe September, October, whatever. What that payload is, unknown. Suspected to be a chemical, suspected it could be a nuke. This is around the time that I believe at the time it was a couple months go by. Director Dark is now in the position. Actually, he may not have even been the director at the time. A video is given to members of the government about a doctor known as Krieger who was tortured by the Faceless after he had allegedly snitched to government entities that there was some chemical agent that they wanted to go spill into the water supply and into the air and maybe inject into folks. And this agent presumably affects and alters your mind. Have you ever read the book that talks about the drug Soma?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking? What? Do you remember what the book's called? Fuck.
Don't?
It's usually at the tip of my tongue. What about you, Denzel? It's like a
No,
required read. Brave New World.
I'm not a big reader.
Yeah, but it's
Why
what
would I think
you
I
like
read it?
have to read it. Oh wait, you're from the UK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those books you have to read in the US.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, maybe.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
I'm
Romeo and Juliet.
gonna tell you what it's about because it actually explains what effectively is taking place. Brave New World is about a book of this society in the future that literally sits in like super comfy chairs that with like televisions right in front of them, and it shows them all the shows that they want to see, and you know, like fucking masturbates you if you want to get into that. And if you ever get depressed or feel a certain way, you get dropped a little pill that makes you feel all that much better, making all the bad feelings go away, right?
They got that. What's that Disney movie? Wall-E.
It's
It
like
shows you
Wall-E,
people in the
but
chairs.
rated R. Yes.
Yeah, but real.
And so Soma is a drug that allows the government in that to control society by removing their feelings, right? And just giving them what they need in order to have those moments of satisfaction all the time. And that's kind of what this chemical is. That if given to the populace, you're just going to do what they want because they will control you through your lack of care, right? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Now, some of these details we can pull out. There gets into more detail, but CMC, I believe, has like a whole, report on it as far as I'm aware. Fast forward, right? We haven't heard much about this chemical. People have been dying. There's this whole bust that happens down at weapons supplies start making their way into the city. There was a bust that took place where a bunch of like rifle bodies were found and then they were blown up and up. I would say about 6 months ago, the amount of class 2s in the city were pretty tremendous due to a series of events. And I don't want to deep dive each one of these things because there ain't that much time. And we're talking a multi-novel conversation here. But some of that supply started to slow down due to a number of factors. Upon myself becoming the director, and I say this not for any other reason other than to I have a better understanding of what happened once I became the director as opposed to what happened prior, right? Ruth went and did a deep dive about 1.5 years of archived reports. Now, these reports weren't necessarily tagged as the Faceless, but there were incidents that you could derive to be the Faceless based on known believed suspects at the time, locations, names that might have been used, right? So imagine just random 911 calls or some scene with a shootout, but they weren't categorized as such. She then produced a history of the last 1.5 years of these marshal reports and police reports. In fact, I shouldn't say marshal reports because, believe it or not, there was that 1.5 years was only covered in about 15 reports. There wasn't shit being done about it. Since then, we have come to learn that a number of gangs around the city have been producing weapons and attachments through what they refer to as Operation Dreadnought, right? Thus making the Faceless effectively a weapons supplier. However, this whole weapon supply shit is quite literally just a distraction. Its intent was to create chaos. Intent was to cause blood on the streets so that police focus on shootouts, bank trucks, killings, all the while the Faceless slowly creep their claws into our system, right? Any questions thus far?
No,
No,
I think
I
it's
mean,
pretty
it'll,
clear.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
Okay. We have inferences that they have. Now, I'm going to give you a example of what some of the things they have done that people did not notice. The Life Invader attack that happened about a year and a half ago. Life Invader attack a week and a half ago, yeah, where Frank and Nora were taken. Are y'all familiar with that?
I didn't know that Frank and Nora were taken.
Yeah, no, I heard about that. I mean, they told me themselves.
They were running the Chronicle bot from the Life Invader. That is the same location we believe that the Faceless network was operating out of. It was like maybe their third stage of development. So imagine that it used to exist on a personal PC, and then it existed somewhere else. They kept expanding it. Eventually, it was at the Life Invader. The Faceless likely can listen to your phone calls, can likely tap into your radio, have individuals on the street. People in the police and government agencies, do not be surprised if they work for them, either directly or indirectly. This is something that has been known for about a year and a half, not just because of their claims, but because of actions. Some of those individuals were fired. Some of them were in the marshals. I had to fire 6 marshals actually in the first month. Oh yeah. It's been a shit show. Half of them were trying to start a militia, like an anti-Faceless militia, by recruiting civilians. They tried to recruit Frank and Nora, in fact, and that was all thwarted. There was one other that was actively leaking classified documents, which people need to know information, but certain information, if you get it out in the public, you can't preempt an attack, right? Take, for example, you have Max, right? Max used to work for the Faceless. Maybe he still does. I don't know. And there's a whole article about him on the Chronicle leaks. Now, I only use that name because most people probably are like, "Oh, Max is a great guy. I'm sure he would never do anything illegal." But the moment you tell the entire public Max might have been fucking Faceless, well, how the fuck are you ever going to catch him, right? It's like think about it. If y'all, I mean, come on, Don, you've been with the Lost before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm sure Denzel, you probably have friends that have done some shit, right? If you knew a cop was watching your house, what you going to do? You're going to clean that shit.
Yeah.
If they know you're meeting somewhere, you're going to fucking, you're going to change locations. What does that mean? It just means it makes it that much more harder to actually, kick in the doors and get the information you need to get to the next stage. But no, things were leaked, including but not limited to some of the, Faceless control systems. You have likely seen a series of antennas go up the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I was asked about McAllister about that. If I'd given permission for any satellites or cameras to be installed, but I'll be honest, I wasn't really aware of them until.
Okay.
I knew because of the newspaper, but until he mentioned that, I wasn't quite aware of the this scale in which they've been going up.
I would say that anytime y'all need to speak on these kind of matters, I would come to myself primarily, or one of my command members. That's going to be Ruth. It's going to be Blunt. It's going to be Springfield, and Kosevich. And the reason I say that is for example, going to McAllister isn't, wrong or anything, but he may not be, fully
no, I mean,
appraised.
he
You know what I
came to
mean?
me, to be fair, but I didn't. Obviously, I mean, I answered these questions the best I could, but I wasn't. Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
I've not okayed the satellites and cameras to be installed. It was, I'll be honest, it was off the back of.
Them going up, I presume.
Yeah. It was off the back of when I came and looked for your to get your soundproofing done. He just asked me then, like, kind of on a whim, you know.
I was asked from the Chronicle people. They asked me about two things: the antennas and the billboards that have started to become graffitied up north.
Huh? Really?
Oh yeah. So there's there's multiple billboards that have been replaced with almost like
Uranium.
uranium adverts, satellite adverts, like a satellite store.
And then there's a billboard that they pointed out on Sonora Freeway across from the 24/7 that has a bunch of stuff graffitied on it. I can't tell if it's been there for long, if it's new, what's happening, but yeah.
So let me put it this way. There's a lot of things that are happening around the city that may or may not be related to Faceless, and we may never know. 90% of what we know about Faceless, including some of the things that I want to, we don't have too much time right now because I probably got to dip in about 5:10. Is through logical inferences, right? So I'll tell you that those antennas, we have witnessed and assets placing them up over a course of like 72 hours. Power goes out, new ones go up. We've tracked them. We've gotten into shootouts with buzzards. We try not to bring the entire police force through because you can't call 78s for 12 hours a day, right? And a singular buzzard isn't enough to deploy an entire police department for 3 hours because you start focusing more, they bring more. Does that make sense? And
yeah, I understand. Then,
but with that said, that system is believed to be a mesh network and an expansion of what they previously had. So they ran previously through the Life Invader. They are now operating out of a location that we cannot ever access. We have ideas
where? So sorry.
where we cannot access.
Okay.
Right.
To be honest, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll just put it bluntly as well. I mean, even so, people that I've known for years, right? You know, people that I would consider, you know, friends, right? And I suppose I think you know a bit about your friends, right? What is the incentive for these people to help the Faceless?
Do you want
Why are they doing it?
I mean, I'll tell you what I tell them directly. San Andreas is filled with a bunch of criminal organizations, primarily street gangs, that are looking to out-ego the other one, right? Be the one on top. Whether it's, you know, a bank truck, whether it's someone getting into their turf. I mean, fuck, last night, and we'll get into this, we saved Ming Gentai, and we started getting G-checked by the fucking besties while holding down the hospital, right? Some people haven't moved on from their weed selling ways, right? And very similar to members of law enforcement, they were promoted through their gang ranks before being taught how the fuck to fucking behave. So when Faceless comes around and, you know, and Dada says, "Hey man, do you want to be a gun plug? Do you want to be a magazine plug?" As a gang, you're going to say yes, because number one, it's a source of income for your crew. Number two, it gives you power over the other. So for example, you know, SK was a pistol plug. This has been already sent out. This is public information at this point. There was the besties with their magazines. That was courtesy of Brandon Valentino and also verified through other sources. If like the besties were like fighting the manor could be like, yo, fuck you, ain't no pistols for you guys. And vice versa with the besties being like, you know what, we're gonna cut them off the mags.
So they pretty much groomed all of these gangs by giving them access to things which made them strong and powerful, and then all of a sudden the leaders of said gangs are begging to help them commit acts of terrorism in the city.
Well, I mean, so that's the second thing, right? That was all of this didn't happen at once, right? That was the initial draw, right? It's like using the drug dealer analysis again, example again. You know, you give someone like a little bit of coke, right? And you know, for free, and then you get them hooked. So that's how they hooked people to the Faceless. Now, understand that they don't just send individuals out on missions. They also got like squads, right? And so they had their direct lackeys like Brandon Valentino or Edgar de Castillo, who would do the terror aspect of things initially. It wasn't until much later some of these like gang leaders started to get involved and contracts started to be issued. And
okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
They would get like, you know, they might get payouts like $500,000, $1 million to go do this, whatever that thing is.
I know you have very limited time, and this probably will have to be answered the next time. But what can we do about it, or what can we help do about it?
I think spreading awareness that working for them is no different than being a cuck. Like if you think about it, you know, you might be getting paid and shit, but you're still on your fucking hands and knees sucking someone off. And for what? You're getting fucked. At the end of the day, you're still getting fucked. Why? Because they're gonna fucking end the goddamn city.
So,
right?
I mean, what's the end goal? Like, do they know
Nobody
what they're
knows.
helping to achieve?
Oh, they're likely a wing of the investors. Oh man.
Oh, that's
there's like
you told me about that. You told me about that, but
Yeah.
I don't think Denzel yet.
Has anyone told you about the investors, Denzel?
Well, no idea what that is, I'll be honest.
Can I summarize maybe?
Yeah.
From what I understand, they were people
Bro,
that
did
invested
they
in the economic reform of the city when we all came back onto the island. They put a ton of money in. Now they're looking for their money back.
This is what this island's like the fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a first world country buying a third world country in order to redevelop it, but that redevelopment is done by a bunch of corporations that don't house themselves here. They just operate out of it. The Faceless are a wing of it. Darkstone is a wing of it. The investors aren't necessarily one uniform entity. They could be, but it's like a board, right? And some may have their particular interests, right? Others may have other interests, but the Faceless's primary objective is control. And I'm going to tell you right now, that thing is fucking sus as shit because
I see a computer here.
there has, because one of the things that we've been warned about, like, is that they're going to drain our accounts. And the fact that this thing is sitting here makes me think someone's going to bust through that door one of these days and get on that shit that's connected to whatever your fucking system here is, and now you got $0.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll be transparent with you. That appeared 2 days after somebody called me, and at the time I didn't know who it was. He told me their name was Charlie, and they asked if I am the mayor of Los Santos County. Asked me what I stand for, what I'm trying to do. I said obviously I'm trying to get the city back on track. And spoke to him a bit about it, and then he said he liked what I had to say. Because I said something about restore the economy in regards to like make people value money again, right? Because it went a bit crazy. And he said he liked the sound of what I had to say. I'll be honest, it wasn't until I saw the unveiling of that guy by the besties that I understood it was that person.
What? Wait, you got a call from him about this?
No, not about the laptop. That laptop appeared after that conversation.
So we got a call from
Oh.
him.
But as soon as that laptop appeared, I called the marshals. I called you first, I'll be honest, and then there was only McNulty and one other marshal on duty. They both came. I was scared it was a bomb.
Yeah, no, that's good. Look, I'm gonna just be kind of listen. We had the Pred court case happening while 10 hour saving Ming Jintai and God knows what.
A few days before then, to be fair, but I assumed
No. I get that. I'm just saying, like, as an example of yesterday, we had 4 marshals doing the court case. We had a bunch, with this fucking war zone situation, while simultaneously we have others that are finishing up processing for Benji Ramos, Brandon Valentino, Ray Romanoff, and Nate Karama for their acts of terror, blowing up observatory, Davis PD, evacuating courthouse, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people are kind of like divided on shit just as a consequence of bank trucks are easy, right? You fucking you get them or you don't get them. Boom, 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 right? Everything else is like 3 weeks of shit. That said, we have already discussed putting a alert system together for like state of emergency, so like proper authorities are alerted. And I think for things like that, I'm going to see if we can also sort of have
There's
an
a device
easier
with a laptop at Blaine County.
What?
Okay, that's very important. Oh fuck.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay, did it just show up or just
There's a big black box. Oh my god. Okay. There's a timer?
Okay. You know what?
0 timer. Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Maybe?
No, yeah. Something appeared next to
Is there a big black box with a timer door or not? Like, what, you're edging us here. What's going on?
I don't know. Like, did a bomb blow up yesterday?
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Aldo, you on Frick?
Yes, sir.
Something about maybe Don's office and a big black box with a timer that reads 0.
BCSO.
Do you mind going and taking a look up at BCSO,
okay.
seeing what it's all about?
Well, I'll come
Copy,
with
we're
you,
on the way.
Although to you maybe.
Hey, yeah, they're
Okay,
going up right now.
okay, bye. Can you tell Aldo to pick me up? I'll go down.
Yeah, Dawn is coming down right now. Are you guys at courthouse by any chance?
We're at Davis.
At Davis? Okay, she's coming down.
Thank you, Brian.
Me and Dakota are going up to the building now. We got 3 marshals at Davis. We're all going to head up, though.
If it looks like some shit, like serious shit, like give me a call and I'll pop back on station. Okay. Look, I'm just gonna give you the breakdown. Yesterday, we had a marshal find 8 to 12 faceless assets congregating in Grapeseed. We then conducted a UC operation with 3 UC units. We're swapping while monitoring them so that they could not see us. We had only 5 other patrol officers because of the court case, right? We had like 8 people total. Tracking from a perimeter what it was doing. We then realized this is probably Ming Jintai that's getting transported. Found a house. House is currently locked down. Saw them go in. Didn't see what came out. Presumed it might have been Ming. Confirmed it was Ming at the news center off the beach. And then I gave the order to execute because if Ming was thrown onto the plane, he was dead. And we have about 10 DOAs with red face masks in the hospital. We got bombed. We got fucking choppers after us. We lost very few people. Ming was in.
What was the? I saw there was a guy with a red mask outside the hospital for some time.
Oh yes.
Alright, Aldo, just so you're aware,
sorry.
down with
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. So As that scene ended, we then started triaging at the news center, after which we were attacked by a warthog dropping literal bombs, blowing up, EMS fucking things and police cars. Ming was immediately brought to CMC. Other units were brought down there. I went down to make sure Ming was okay, to then find, 25 bestie members. We had to hold them back, right? Because we had faceless assets in there as well. Ming started getting surgery alongside one other faceless asset. And then a random guy with a bomb shows up during all of this, looking to extract them. That's a whole nother matter. Now everyone's at the hospital, and, you've got, for lack of a better word, rubberneckers trying to see what's going on. Once again, very few officers. We then see the guy with the red mask outside, member of Faceless. He gave me a choice. Give us their Faceless guy back, or we're going to blow up the bomb, which the third bomb now that's on top of the hospital.
So the other guy, the first guy that bought a bomb, was he Faceless?
No.
Okay. Right.
There was 6 different groups involved in this.
And everyone's just got bombs.
Shift 2 is a different beast. First guy, fake. I knew it. Wasn't going to give him anybody, because you can't do that. You have to understand, we don't just give a life in our custody to someone. They're going to die if we do. It's just, we die first before them. But some dumb fuck shot a bullet by him. Luckily, the guy got scared, ran off with the bomb. That started getting diffused while the red guy shows up, who was actually Faceless, who put a bomb on top of the fucking hospital. Wanted the Faceless folks, oh, fuck, my guy's awake. I still have an asset. He just woke up. I've got to go interrogate him.
Okay.
But, the red guy comes, says he wants the Faceless assets inside. I delay. I say we have to get the ICU patients out, because regardless of what he wants, we can't just keep the patients in there, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen next. He then starts asking for Ming, which we're not going to give, because once again, same situation. I negotiate to evacuate all the ICU patients. They get moved to Sandy. One thing leads to another. We get Ming out of there. We're now at Humane Labs. We're still getting attacked. Ming is now in a safe location. So, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we'll chat more once things kind of cool down. But
yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, Brian, like I say, I mean, I'm sure. I'll be honest. If you thought I was affiliated or working with the Faceless, you already know about it.
I don't think you are.
I'm just saying, like, there's just that much shit that's gone on that it would just be impossible for me to have remained undetected anyway. I'm just curious what they want with me.
They want you because they're gonna have you do things.
Yeah, I mean, just for reassurance, I have no thoughts of complying.
Actually, you know what you could do? I wrote some legislation for Charles Danger, before we exposed his ass and he got, thrown into federal prison. We wanted to get a bill passed for releasing files on the Faceless. These the public should know things that we sign off on. And
I mean, yeah, 100%, I agree.
Okay. Easy. I got to get going, and we'll chat more tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah. I'll speak to you soon.
Doodaloo, doo.